So getting back to, can you out-train a bad diet? You can. Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Can you out-train a bad diet? The answer is kind of yes. Not gonna lie, you can. But it depends on the degree of bad dieting. 10,000, 20,000 calories a day, probably not. However, I have seen a lot of people with pretty good genetics be able to eat pretty much whatever they want. Like, if you guys ever played high school football, for those of you who had, there's that one stud running back, wide receiver usually. This kid can eat McDonald's 4 times a day, have shredded abs, and run for 200 yards a game, right? That exists. Genetic freaks exist. However, for normal people, probably not. Also, we want to look at, now I remember when they first started coming out with the flexible dieting, if it fits your macros. It's one thing to look at keeping a healthy weight, right? Like, what do you want from your diet? Well, I want to keep a healthy weight. And as long as I get my calories, it doesn't matter where I get them from, right? I get them from Pop-Tarts, I get them from sweet potatoes, doesn't matter. As long as my calories are there, I'm going to keep the same weight or lose weight. And that's what people did with If It Fits Your Macros, is they would be just, scrounging around, just eating as little as possible to be able to fit that snack at the end of the day. But then you look at, what do you want out of foods, right? What I want out of foods are health. I want energy. I want micronutrients. I'm going to eat a banana over a Pop-Tart. I'm going to eat a sweet potato over a pastry, right? So what do you want out of your food? If you just want calories, then yeah, food choice doesn't matter. But if you want the health benefits, the micronutrients, things like beef, things like bananas, things like sweet potatoes, things like fruits and vegetables, those are things you want in your diet regardless of that. Now, we know based on looking at the diets, and old diets kind of work, right? The main thing you're looking at is, if you're not fat, you're going to be healthier. Obesity is the #1 comorbidity for everything. It's the thing that helps you die, and in some cases makes you die. So we want to avoid being obese. That's #1. But #2, what can we do with that calorie control to make it more efficient, make it better? And that is making it more densely full of these micronutrient dense foods. We want them to be full of those. So getting back to, can you out-train a bad diet? You can. There is a level where you can train and train and train. Have you ever seen those videos where those guys are like, here's what it'll take for me to burn off a box of Krispy Kreme donuts? And they literally just run for like 7 hours. And by the end, they're like on the ground, like in a puddle of sweat, like dying. Okay, so you can. You can burn those calories. You absolutely can. But can you? People watching this, if you're younger, you're in school. If you're older, you have jobs and kids. You ain't got time to be burning 8 hours of a Krispy Kreme dozen a day. You ain't got time for that. Also, those calories, they're not good for you. Like the effect it has on your overall health isn't good. You would have been better off having a healthy snack. You would have been better off having a piece of fruit. But you ate the 12 Krispy Kremes. So the problem isn't, when you look at the obesity epidemic, most people who pay attention to their diet, who don't have any mental orders, binging, who can't control themselves, right? Look at what Ozempic does. I got a lot of heat for this one, man. Look, Ozempic is making people lose weight. Problem is, we don't know the long-term side effects, but the good news is it's making people lose weight. But when I say the obvious, because it's making them eat less. Whether it's doing this through this appetite mechanism, whether it's mental, whether it's insulin, don't care. What we're showing is that calories in, calories out is what matters the most. And that's why Ozempic and these other peptides are working. Let's talk about pre-workouts. See, a lot of them just get you spiked and then you crash. The crash is crazy. When I take a pre-workout, I don't want my heart beating out of my chest. I can't do a set to failure with that. No, I want something that gets me focused. I want my mind to just go, I'm gonna get all the weight. I want my body to feel like I can go crush it, make the gains of my life. That's why the pre-workout I use is Ambrosia Kinetic. Ambrosia Kinetic is the greatest mushroom-enhanced mind and body performance booster pre-workout ever created. Go to TigerFitness.com now. That's TigerFitness.com. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. And you get 10% off, not just Kinetic, but the entire site. Go to tigerfitness.com now, save and make the gains you've been wanting. So nobody has time to exercise to outtrain a horrible diet. Now, can you exercise enough to afford a bowl of Fruity Pebbles in your diet? Can you exercise enough to afford a yummy cookie in your diet? Absolutely, you should have that kind of balance. However, if you have just a horrible diet, chances are you're not going to outtrain it. Now, I will say the caveat is to lose weight, you're looking at caloric restriction. However, we found that when your exercise level is high, it is much harder to regain that weight back, so you're more likely to keep it off. Think about it this way. So when you're doing diet and exercise to lose weight, the diet is the most important part. Now, not that you can neglect one, not the other, but when you're trying to keep weight off, the exercise becomes higher order of importance. So diet over exercise while losing weight, use that weight training to keep your muscle, burn more calories, all that. But you can get away with more stuff. You're already lean, better insulin sensitivity, all that stuff, better set point. So once you're lean, you could throw in those snacks. And as long as you're exercising regularly, you're less likely to put on the fat within reason. That doesn't mean go to the buffet every day. That means that, hey, if you want to have a breakfast out with your family and get some chocolate chip pancakes, have at it. Anyway, hopefully that helps you guys. Go to tigerfitness.com, coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Get 10% off the entire site. Please go there. Support us. Buy your MTS Nutrition Pure Creatine, MTS Nutrition Machine Ray, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on that notification bell, and remember, that's not a game.